Welcome back to our channel. This is Beyond the Surface. My name is Tobiloba Odofin, and with me today is my co-host. This morning we'll be shedding more light to the story that was told in the last episode.
We have with us here our very own mama. Her name is Counselor Doyin Yemi Ajayi. She is the founder of the Unleash Coaching and Counseling platform. Please let me welcome Mrs. Doyin Ajayi. Let's give it up for her.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me here. It's so good to be here this morning.
We're so happy to have you.
And I must commend you are doing a great job.
Oh,
Thank you.
Well
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But the last episode we had was the story of my co-host here, where she was referred to as being a witch. And I know you have watched it. What do you have to say about all of that when you watched it?
Wow. I feel so sorry that you went through that ordeal at that tender age. Is a lot. The scars, the trauma is a traumatic experience. And knowing fully well that even those that are supposed to protect you are even the one pointing finger at you, I know is a lot. At that time, you might not really be able to process it the way you should. I know that it's part of your growth. Growing up, you see it before you all the time. I know it's a lot. And no child deserves to go through that experience. No child. No child deserves to go through that
experience. Thank you so much. Thankfully for my co-host, she has been able to come out of it, got healed. But I know that there are people who had also gone through similar experiences, and they are currently in a state of mess. Like, they can't do things rightly. It's affecting their decisions, their choices. What do you think such person should do?
Okay, we have a lot of emotions in here, and it's a process. Let me start with, it's a process. Now, what Mrs. Odofin, what she knows now about what happened to her, I know the picture came so many times while growing up, and for you to get to this point, you really navigate through a journey. So, to this set of people, they should not keep quiet. They should look for somebody they trust and that they can share this thing with, their story with, because the truth of the matter is we all have our past. Though some are good, and for some they are not so good. They are not so opportune to have that good one. They have bad experiences, and these things, they have a way of shaping our growth, our perspective to life, lifestyle, who we relate with. We have some that they will have a lot of walls around them, and it will be very easy for even people that want to help to even penetrate through, to come in. So to this set of people, I would say they should talk about it. Yes, if you are thinking that I don't have somebody to talk to at the moment, we have counselors that can help. If you have a good support system, maybe in your siblings, in someone you know, you look up to, that will not judge you, just talk about it. Talking alone is a therapy. You need to let it out. You can start with, okay, let me stand before my mirror. Let me even tell the story I see people are listening to me. You can start from there. And before you move past that stage, you will see yourself even getting ready to share with someone that can help. But sincerely, I know it could be a tough one for anyone. It could be a tough one. You imagine what she went through at that tender age. It's still, it's pathetic. It's a lot. And it takes someone that is ready to open up to find that solution.
Yeah, very true. I want you to please, before we go to the next question, emphasize that part of really trusting again. Because the essence of this channel is not because we just want to share stories. It's actually because we want to help people come out of whatever they have been, holding them down, and enjoy their destiny. That's the essence of all of this. So I want you to, if we can come out of our own situation, everybody, you can come out of your situation as well. So I want you to please help somebody, encourage them to the importance of talking, trusting again, being vulnerable to somebody else who they know can help, enough what do you think the person should? How should they, explain? Open up their heart to talking to somebody again.
Yeah, it is okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah,
it is okay to let out your emotions. In fact, emotions doesn't have shame. You see emotions betraying you sometimes, and it is okay. Let it out. Talk to someone. You need to trust people. Yes, the people that are in your life right now might not look like the people that were in your life back then. And those that were in your life back then, when you experienced what you experienced, they don't know any better. So let me even speak on their behalf. They don't know any better. They think they are helping you, but they are actually damaging you. So in a way, you need to forgive them and look at, okay, where I am now, what is the way out? What step should I take? And the step you should take now is to trust people, not seeing them with not seeing everyone the same way. Because that's in your present, you have someone that God has positioned into your life that will help you.
That's it. Looking at my own journey, I can relate with that because when I look back now, somebody who helped me a lot when I was in uni turned 40 last week, and I was told to record a video for the person sharing happy birthday, and I fell into, like, I started crying. Why I was crying it was nothing but because I remembered who I was. I remembered who that person was counseling. I remember it was totally away from me. So I just wanted to encourage you, please, we really want it to be your very best. You can be so different from this person. That's one thing God has blessed me with. Totally different from who people currently know, what they have talked about, but you have to first talk about it.
Yes.
And if you need to meet Mrs. Jane, because I recommend her, please drop a message for us in the comment section. Send us an email. We will connect you with her definitely. Yeah. She's amazing.
Yes.
You are gonna be safe. Yeah. Okay, so going now back into the story of Mrs. Odofin. There's a part where she talked about church and the role church played about in her that even made her form some habit of her saying that maybe she does not like titles when she hears Reverend Doctor like this. Yes, you heard that, right? Yes. So how do you help somebody who maybe in the process of trying to get better, they went into church, and church was the one who made them feel hurt more. Maybe somebody from church or something made them feel hurt more. How do you help such person?
Okay, one, we are all human, and we are not perfect. So in the church, we have people that are ignorant. In the church, we have people that are not spiritually inclined enough. So we have different set of people.
Sometimes these people can
an overflow of what
right?
we have in the society, we have in the church.
They carry titles, of course.
Yes, they carry titles. So for her feeling that way, I know she has grown past that now. Yeah. But then nobody should judge her. Nobody should judge somebody in that space because you don't know their story. And people, most of the time, we don't tell our stories in the open like that, except when we see this opportunities to share our stories in a safe space. So for someone that is feeling that way, you allow that person to go through that process. Our life is in layers. At that moment, that is what that person is going through. But if such a person is having a good support system that is seeing life in another form, that person can quickly come out of that. But if that is not in place, yes, we say it takes God. It takes time. Yes, it takes time for that person to start trusting again, to start seeing that, okay, this is a spiritual tie too. It is necessary. Yes, those that are giving that tie too, they are not 100%. All of them are not bad. Though we have people with that title that are misrepresenting
the office.
The office. But that doesn't mean we don't have good ones. So that person needs someone that's seeing things differently, that can make that person also to see things. So, but it takes time. It takes time. So we have to give that person time to grow. We have so many materials online. We have so many. The person must be open to information, to see things differently.
So thinking about forgiveness, when we were having conversations about it, I saw the way you spoke about it and everything, and you were not in your emotions, your negative emotions. We were just having conversations, we were laughing, we were gisting. As deep as it was, it's so obvious that you have healed. So what are the things that you did that made you get better? Or Mrs. Doe, what do you think were in there for her that helped her get better, become her best self, and looking all fabulous now? How did she get to that point?
Okay, actually watching her video and listening to her story, I saw so many things in
playing out.
The first one is the picture. I have the picture of when this was happening, what are the things, before we even talk about the forgiveness part on our part. Let's look at things that are involved in this situation. The first thing that was involved is, at that tender age, she doesn't know what is right and what is wrong. At that time, 6 years, people are still making decisions for you. So in a way, I saw that she was compelled to accept that truly she's a witch. And also, I saw the stigma, that she was being stigmatized with everything, with the whole story. Where she mentioned that somebody in the church asked her to go out when they were saying all the witches in this place, that she have to go out. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, you to go and meet your people." That's what it is. Oh yeah, you can go. That's a stigma. And you don't know how many people have heard about the story. Then that stigma will leave a scar on her. Now it might look as if, there is a scar, there is no pain. But for her to still have the scar, because the truth of the matter is, the scar is not going anywhere.
Nowhere.
The scar is going to be there.
Actually.
But the pain, she's no more feeling the pain. That is where forgiveness comes in. What did you do? Who helped you? How did you see it then? I know it was a lot. Knowing fully well that you have parents, they are supposed to,
be your guardian,
be your protector. But they were not even doing that. You mentioned that your dad took like an hose from the car, and he was beating you with it, that you are the one, come and uproot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And to forgive such a father, I know it is not something that you just wake up one day to say, Daddy, I know you did this one, I'm forgiving you. So even your uncles, those that that are supposed to, even your pastors, they are in the place of protecting their members too. So you have so many people that betrayed you at that age.
Honestly. In fact, it was so many. Because it was so bad that there were times that even when people who heard came, they were asking me, how? What happened? They said you are now here. And you will look at it. I would feel as if somebody just carried a knife and stabbed me, because I felt you know me differently. I'm still the little girl you used to carry, we used to play, and now you are believing the lie they told. Because I was moved to consent. So that pain was there. But over the years, I changed location. Moved out of where I could see all of them.
Okay.
So there was a change of environment, which of course helped me. It didn't start that way. I know as a child, coming back home, my mom was not around. It was only my dad. I had no choice than to still relate with him. I had no choice than to. In my heart, I was just looking at it. I was telling myself, in my heart as a child, because about that time I was already going to 7, at 7 going to, because I was 6 going to 7, at 7 going to 8. I looked at him, I said to myself, this person was this pastor that came to lie to my dad. My dad believed in the lie. And because I noticed that he had 2 bosses, now he's having 1. And if he's complaining that his business is not moving forward. So I was just trying to, even as a child, I was trying to give excuse for him. And so, but you are human beings. As time goes on, I expected a change of character. Do you understand? I expected a change of character. I expected more care. I expected more show of love, but I didn't see that. So it was more like each time I tried to forgive, my own case is so peculiar. Each time I try to forgive, it comes up with another thing.
Wow.
Each time I try to forgive, it comes up with another thing. So it became so bad that I said, come, I think this thing should just should just be. So for a long time I resented my father. I was like that, no. For each time I tried to forgive, he always does another thing. Now remember, there was a story I told that we were already in a safe place with my mom and thinking everything was over. Then he surfaced again somehow. Started banging the door, In fact, the story is so long. At a point, there was this come together. We're sorry. He came begging at some point. Yes, he came back begging my mom is sorry and all of that. We all came back. All of us.
Really?
All of us came back.
Wow.
So we all came back thinking we are good. But we discovered that we're expecting a changed person, but we didn't see. So in our heart, we had forgiven. But somehow, when he came up and he wasn't given the right attitude as a father, when seeing him giving us, no provision, then there's this fight again and all of that. Eventually, my mom had to finally, move. So at that time, I was already in secondary school, and we had to leave again and go back to our house. And from there, God helped us. We were able to move away from there to another place where God showed us favor. We got a place around Ilupeju Estate, and we were just there, Now, during that period, during that secondary school period, those things affected even my education, affected my assimilation, because there are times I can get lost in thoughts. Do you understand? I can get lost in thoughts because sometimes I can be walking and I'm thinking in my head, I hope there's nobody here who has once heard my story. Yeah, it goes that bad. It goes that bad. I hope there's nobody here who will come up and say, I saw that video. The video of that church. There were times like that. And so that alone affected a lot around me. And but I remember in 2000, at different times we'll pray, they'll say forgive, but later you now hear that your daddy is doing this, and I was just like, when exactly is this going to end? So I remember there was a time I was in my church at that time. We were attending Holy Ghost Christian Center. That was the church I was mentioning that God gave us solution to my mom's the affliction and everything. So there was a program. That was one of the reasons why I said there are pastors and there are pastors. And I thank God for this pastor. That's Pastor Amos Fenwa. He opened us up to information. He's someone who travels out. He comes back, and when he comes back, he comes with so many packages of information, books and all of that, and then he teaches us like a bird's coming to So there was this time I noticed that he started telling ministers in his church to go for a leadership course in Daystar. You understand? So because I know that pastors don't do that. They would rather see you as a rival. Can I carry my minister? What if they freeze you away and all of that? But he carried them. Then before the thing spread to us. We are workers, so just few of us, that could do that. We went there. But I remembered that was the program that helped me to understand forgiveness and how to forgive. Now I remember Pastor Samadeyemi was saying that you need to learn how to forgive in advance. That was the first time I heard that word. Then I knew, so there is a solution to this problem, because it was a problem for me as a Christian. I shouldn't be old. And in church we usually have school of wisdom. That's like our Sunday school, and there are times they'll talk about forgiveness. And in my heart of heart, I'll say, God, you can see my heart. I've forgiven this man. It wasn't easy. I don't like to. It was not easy. I tell God, I've forgiven my father. I've forgiven the people that were involved. I've even the pastor. I've forgiven all of them. But each time information comes, each time I see my dad do some things, it comes back again. So, how else do I? But when Pastor Samadeyemi, it was one that took that class. They started Leadership Academy. I think it was 2010 or 2009. So he took the class and he said, you need to learn how to forgive in advance. I said, hey,
This is what I need.
Hey, this is the tablet for this.
Because this man won't stop being
Yes.
who he is.
You understand? So that has really gone a long way to help me.
Yeah.
So much that even people, and that's why there's nothing anyone around me wants to do that. I'll just look at you and say, you have not done, you have not, never reached my father. Never reached my father, my family members. So sometimes when people do things, someone have to look at me and say, don't you get angry? I laughed that day because there are times he expected, it was my co-worker. He expected that I will one day just tear and then, no, he was angry. He was looking for a partner to just tear for madam and let madam do normal. So, I'm good. so it was that program. Okay.
What I want you to emphasize on forgiving in advance. Okay. Because the truth about it is that we're not going to have people get on our nerves. It's never going to happen.
It is never going to happen.
Like we are going to keep having it.
Yes.
So I want you to just deliberate more on that encouraging people to please forgive in advance because
forgiveness is a process, but it's always good and it's safe when you know that people are bound to step on you. They will step on you. Humans are going to be human. Because we are not raised the same way. We are not thinking the same way. We don't have the same belief. Our core values are different. And we are not at the same pace when it comes to maybe intellectually, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. We have so many emotional baggages, like what Mrs. Odofin went through when she was put in a place to fast for 3 days. At that stage, that could shape her to see, people are mean. At that tender age, she fasting for that long days without food, without water. You don't know what people also
in between.
In between.
So that I will not die. So that I should not die. Say, just take water. So that there was portioning water for me.
Imagine that was a bad experience for her at that tender age. So we have people too that are coming into our life either by inviting them or by chance. You will just see them there, and you knowing fully well that this is bound to happen. We will step on each other's toes. We will offend each other. This is me now. I'm not going to allow whatever anybody do to me get to me. So if I'm thinking that way already, I'm thinking, what can I do? How do I need to reprogram myself? What is the boundary? I need to pull down a boundary now so that people will not step on me anyhow. Now I've chosen how to forgive in advance, but it's not always good when you want to talk about, you did this yesterday, you did this. Another person that is not saying things in your own light might think, he complains a lot, she complains a lot, and they might be the one trying to withdraw, because sometimes what people do against us, they are so ignorant of it, they don't even know they are doing something. Though we have some group of people that understand that what you're about to do is not good, and they just want to try you, they want to check your pulse. But in most cases, we have people that are doing things against you innocently. So forgiveness in advance will help you to say, this is me, this is how far I can go, this is what I can take, this is what I cannot take. But for people not to offend me, I think this measure needs to be put down. Like the word that helped her by Pastor Sam, that forgive in advance, helped her to say, daddy will not stop being daddy.
That's it.
Daddy won't stop being daddy, but this is what I've done. I've forgiven him. At that point, I know that there will be a time that he will talk and you just be looking. If you are done.
And another thing that also helped me was I tried to also look at 100%. What can I pick that I can see that he has done that is good?
It will help you, yes.
So
Forgiveness in advance. Forgiving in advance will help you to see the good side of people.
Of him. So I was able to
people.
look through, and I said to myself, okay, I think he introduced me to Christ as a young girl. So because when we're going to church, you will hear him say, we're going, oh, Papa, I'll drop you if you don't come into the car. So that's it. No, I started looking at that area. And at some point I just started picking some areas where at least he carries me in his car, in his vehicle. You know, that I looked at, you know, few things I can. So that also helped me to, you know, put and help me in the area of forgiveness.
And that means we can't say that people are 100% bad. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses. So when you see people in our circle displaying their weaknesses, we are supposed to cover them up with our own strengths. So now seeing it like you are counting your cost now, what has it done that is good? What has it done? When you see him doing that bad thing, displaying that bad energy, you will not want to really make emphasis on that. Okay, Daddy has been carrying me in his car. Daddy has been taking us to church. He has been praying with us. In fact, Daddy has been a worker in the church, like you said. He has been a worker in the church. He has been a blessing in a way to people. Yes, because sometimes what parents, what they experience or go through, they can't. It's like this general saying that says you can't pour from an empty cup. So it's out of what you know that you will give.
Yes.
When he was doing all that, he did not even know that it was that bad. He did not know the effect, the weight of what he was doing at that moment, that you are damaging this family, you are destroying the future of everything. He's not saying it that way. That was how he could come back later to say, Emma, I'm sorry. Then his eyes would have been open to say, this thing really got spoiled in my hand. Sometimes people, they don't know more than what they know. And that is why they do what they do. Sometimes if they know better, that you are hurting somebody's emotion, you are hurting somebody physically.
I'm so sorry to bring up this example. This made me remember my mom. When there was a time I was telling her that, what were you looking at that made you get married to this kind of man? Like, I can never. You know, she now laughed and she said, the knowledge that you are exposed to now yes, that they were not exposed to it at that time. She told me that when they were attending, I think, Catholic or Anglican, or Baptist or so, one of those three. Now, when they are going to church for Ijeweshelo to ask God for forgiveness, they will be calling their friends that, my friend, Remy, I'm like, who does that?
That's how they.
She said that when she gets there, it's a ritual. When she gets there, she goes on her knees, she tells the priest everything. The priest says, go and sin no more. She said she's coming back next week to say something. But she has seen me ask God and say things like, I ask God for forgiveness on sin, and it's a once and for all. I say once and for all. I don't have to keep repeating the same thing every week. So that knowledge that they don't have it. All the things that we now check in a man, all the messages we have heard, red flags, all of those, they don't have nothing. So that's one of the ways I was able to also let go of a lot of things that, you know, just see that the things that you know, they have no idea about honestly.
Even in your story, while listening to it, I saw that, in fact, that experience helped you a lot. I should tell you what I mean by that. Okay. I saw that when it was time for you to choose a life partner, you were checking out for patterns.
Yes.
I believe it was not only patterns, family patterns you are looking at. You are looking at you also somehow you will look at family dynamics and things like that, because you want your own marriage to work. You don't want to make the mistake your mom made. And I know that even if you have not gone through what you went through, you might not have that knowledge to say, I think I need to be awake. I think I need to do things differently.
That's true.
Aside the fact that mommy prayed, not just that mommy was praying alone, that really entered into your subconscious mind to say, careful. I think this is a serious matter. So I need to pay attention to this. And I think my mommy didn't experience that. Maybe she wouldn't have become that woman. Say, so that is another gain from what happened. Sometimes when we experience, when we go through life journeys, especially the negative ones. We look at it, but when forgiveness come into play, you will see it in a different light to say, okay, now this happened. Let's look at it this way. What are the gains?
And there are a lot of gains, actually.
What are the gains?
There are a lot of gains.
Yes. Until you are able to count the gains, there won't be forgiveness and there won't be a way forward.
I want both of you to talk about the light that forgiveness brings to your path. Because when you are still in that messy state, it's like everywhere is dark. I don't want to talk to people. I don't do this. I don't do that. But when forgiveness comes, I believe that like the path is like you can see the road from here. What do I do next? That's when what do I do next comes in. But when you are still in that space, that's the only thing you'll be battling with. What people think, how people think, what they say, how they said it. That's the only thing you'll be fighting with. But when the forgiveness comes and you accept it and you follow through 100%, your life begins to be better. Your same story, the very same story becomes a light you're sharing today to encourage somebody else. Someone else will share tomorrow. That's this person that's listening to us today would share tomorrow. There'll be somebody that needs it, that this is somebody's lifeline. And sometimes I used to feel like those of us that went through stuff, like we are God's
mouthpiece,
like we are God's signboard, like ambassador, like see, he did this with me, he can do this with you as well. You know, so oftentimes don't always as long as you are alive and breathing, I think that's everything God needs to give you. You are breathing, right? That shows that
there is more.
Always more. So don't let us end it at this mess. Don't let us end this day here.
Actually, our life is in layers. So that's one layer. What you experience in the
phase
phase one.
Let's go.
And out of that phase one, if you can just go through it, allow the process to just flow, and while seeking help, talking about it, you will see that, okay, and you are ready to let go. You have the peace of mind. Letting go, number one, is in 3 phases. The first one is you forgiving yourself. Not blaming yourself that, why is it that it's these people that give birth to me?
You're very correct, because I think that was where I started from. Because I remembered, I told you about the time when I was having a nice time in my former school, and then I was just craving for seeing cousins, and then I was taken to their house and I insisted I want to go back. And that alone, because I insisted, I didn't know what was happening around. And my mother was like, now let her go. I didn't know, from there, I thought they had the same kind of life like I had, school and all that. So when I got there, I discovered that it was totally different. And the very first thing was, I was angry with myself. I was angry with myself because
why will I make this choice?
It was my choice, but they said yes to it. If I had not said I was going to my cousin's place, can't cousins come? I was for yes. It was the very first thing, and I discovered that when I took that away, it was easy. So forgiving oneself is first. It's first.
Then the offender.
Yes, the offender.
Forgive them the second, and that will help you to see life differently. Then there will be progress, because now what is holding you down is like a weight. Unforgiveness is like a weight.
A serious weight.
Because each time you want to move forward, if unforgiveness is there, you keep remembering what has happened, what the person has done to you, and it will affect your mood all the time. And if care is not taken, somebody can dwell in that place for a very long time, and there will not be progress, there will not be peace. So when you forgive yourself, there will be peace of mind, and you look at, okay, what should I do next? Then you forgive others. Then there will be progress. Now, like we said the other time, you counted your cost and you could see that there is a gain in this thing. Another gain that I could see is he will help you also as a parent.
Yes. That's
it will help to be a better parent now.
Yes,
that's okay.
My girl child, my boy child.
You won't want to expose your children anyhow. So it's another gain.
Yes,
it's another gain.
It is. Wow. There are a lot of gains, honestly, a lot.
We've had an amazing session today. What do we say to our guests? What do we say to
Thank you. Thank you, ma.
Thank you. God bless you. We are honored to have your presence, and thank you for dishing out wisdom at the level at which you did. Thank you, everyone, for watching today's episode. We had a fantastic time. I hope you learned. I hope you're going to make use of all of this wisdom that we have shared. And don't forget, if you need our counselor's doings and details, send us an email or drop a comment. We would reach out to you.
Yeah.
You can just reach out to us. We are available to help you get better.
And do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, because sharing, you're going to be helping someone to get out of their own issue. Thank you for always coming to watch. We love you so much.
We love you. Bye.
Bye
See you
for
in the
now.
next episode.
Bye.